Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley. Welcome to Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Okay,
yes.
got it. Tuesday. Check. We are here to entertain. We're here to inform. We're here to maybe kick
Uplift.
uplift. I almost
There
left
you
that
go.
one out.
Mhm.
But I told Dave just before we came on, I'm going to hit you with a topic that I don't think you would ever see coming, and it's something I thought of last night.
Okay.
And then this morning, oddly enough, and you know what? I thought of this, and then it came up on my Facebook feed.
Okay. Cool.
So maybe they're reading my mind.
Probably. I mean, they're everywhere, and
Well, you know what I mean? I'm just
this
saying.
this may all be just a simulation anyway. So
It could be, and that's kind of got something to do with it.
I got no
All
problem
right.
one way or the other.
So I watch an awful lot of documentary television.
Mhm.
A lot of it is on the UFO channel, which I like a lot.
Yes.
But I can tell you already that on the UFO channel, I'm getting remarkably tired of documentaries that are being created by AI. They set AI loose to find all of this content, and then it blends together and makes a movie, and out comes this movie. Well, this morning I wake up and I read an article that says, do you know who Michael Schumacher is?
Yes, I do.
The F1 driver? Yeah.
Mhm.
So this morning I wake up and I read that there is an editor of a magazine who is now under scrutiny or suspension. I don't know what the hell he got, but whatever. He's under fire for generating an entire video interview with Michael Schumacher and putting it out through AI.
Mhm.
So my question is, where we sit today in today's day and age, should there be a warning system for AI generated content like that is presented with anything that we see or read?
I would think so, and here's why.
Okay.
You've got to know that what you're seeing isn't. I mean, because AI is so advanced right now. We are struggling to catch up. Again,
Yeah.
I've talked about Chat GPT. We're up to Chat GPT, I think 4.5 right now, which is just basically this is something I think about this with regard to my son Max, who by the time he gets in high school, he won't have to write a term paper. This will just write it for him.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes with these interviews. I mean, they did this with Joe Rogan too, where it was kind of, it sounded like he did an interview, I believe, with Steve Jobs, which he never did, never met Steve Jobs.
Right.
And they did a whole interview, and it was kind of, you could tell it wasn't him because he was asking, it was because that's not the way he interviews people. It's all stilted and everything. And whereas his is more of a conversation. But yeah, to the untrained ear or people who don't listen really, it's really easy to get duped by these things, really easy. And yeah, if you're showing something that isn't real, yeah, I think there's an obligation there to let the audience know that this is, it's like a War of the World. It's like kind of like War of the Worlds. That was completely fictitious. They did all that, people freaked out, and at the end, okay, this was just
it wasn't just
real.
at the end though. In War of the Worlds, they made the announcement through the entire program that this is, because believe me, if there's a few things that I've studied over the years, War of the Worlds is one of them.
Right.
Remarkable what Orson Welles did. And
100%.
I mean, unbelievable. And you know what? War of the Worlds was both good and bad. It was huge, high entertainment because it roped everybody into it. But on the other side of the coin, it came off as so real, people freaked out.
Yeah,
that's history. That's amazing.
And this is it. There's going to come a time where people won't know whether or not this is real.
They already don't.
You're not. Yeah. We're there. That's what I keep pushing this down the road. But you're right to a large extent. It's hard to discern what is real,
right,
and what isn't, and it's not going to get any easier.
That's why I'm saying,
to answer your question, I think
that anything that's AI should come with a warning label on it.
Yeah, I think that's more important than virtually anything else. If you're talking about, being transparent. Everybody talks about this. Is one of those things that buzzwords that get thrown around. Transparency. We want to be more transparent. We
Yeah.
want this institution to be more transparent, and they never are fully.
No.
Even you and I, we're transparent doing this to a point. I mean, you don't know all my thoughts. We don't know all of your thoughts. I don't completely tell you every. I mean, for the most part, I like to think of myself as fairly unfiltered when we do. But there's things obviously that we talk about off the air that we don't discuss on the air. But what we do try to do, and I'm proud of this, is we try to be straight with the way we feel about certain issues, certain topics, even if it leads to disagreement, and that's fine. It would be boring if you and I agreed on everything. Nobody wants to see that. You want to have a little bit. You don't want it to be over the top, but you also don't want, oh yeah, totally, 100%. You're absolutely right.
I agree with that.
You don't want that. So,
but the idea of
transparency is important.
Transparency is important. Okay, good. Well, and like I said, some of these AI movies that are coming out, some of them you can tell are choppy. And it's like, yeah. Others are tight as a drum. And dude, we got to really start thinking about this. And in all honesty, should that cascade over into news?
It's go. Oh, it already has.
No, should the warning cascade over into news?
It should, but it won't. Because nobody's up front. Everybody, first of all, everybody's tailoring everything to their audience anyway.
Right.
That's just where we are. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle.
There's a difference between a branding slant, which is, you know what? I'm okay with that.
What do you mean? What do you mean specifically by a branding slant?
Let's say the Grand Rapids Press. Mm-hmm. Going back to before I was born, when my grandparents were raising my dad and everything else, they called that the Republican Register because it had its branding slant. It kind of speaks to the West Michigan community, which nothing wrong with. Is a little more conservative, a little more Christian, right. and they've got that mentality.
Right.
That's fine.
Yes.
Hey, that's okay. I have no problem with slant in media because we've got it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
We do.
That's fair. But the important thing is to be open about that. Not to pretend to be, hey, it's all the news that's fit to print.
Right.
We're being objective. And that's honestly, and I'm old school in that way of thinking. That's the way it should be. But most people don't think, or I don't want to say most. I don't want to speak. I don't like speaking for any group or anybody who's not me. We've gotten in that direction because it's become a business. It used to just be to inform people. Now it's what's our audience want, and it doesn't matter whether you're talking New York Times, New York Post, Washington Examiner.
Let me ask you this:
Post, doesn't matter.
Let me ask you this final thought. That idea of it's what the audience wants. Mm-hmm. Where does the problem begin with that?
Well, the problem begins when you eliminate information or you don't provide context.
Nope.
Yeah, to me everything is about when you're eliminating certain topics or certain areas because it doesn't fit your narrative. That's the problem.
You're missing it.
What do you think it is?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's ownership and management. They have gotten their hands on items that are both an art and a business. Journalism is an art. It is also a revenue machine.
Why is it an art?
Why is it an art?
Journalism's not an art.
Yes, it is.
Journalism.
Everything about journalism, everything about it is an art.
It should be facts. Should be facts and information.
Couldn't agree more.
If you're talking journalism.
But to take that facts and information and turn it into a consumable product that people are going to read, learn, and enjoy, and come back for more. Okay. That's art. And then add in content with video and elements and production and everything else, that's art. Okay? Same thing with a radio station. You know what? When you program a radio station and in your head 600, 700, 800 songs that are going to identify to your community and pull them in day after day, That's art. That's huge
Yeah,
art.
100%.
Okay,
I separate
so
those two though. Those two things.
to to take all of that art out of media, people that can
Mhm.
write thoughtful commentary, thoughtful articles on community engagement, thoughtful articles on perspective. You know,
Mhm.
Pete DeMag. Um, let's see, Bill. My dear friend out here that wrote for the Bill. Oh, come on. You know, the feature writers. You know, the people who would sit down and write you a feature instead of, hey, today it's a dog pound. This went on. Blah blah blah. That's the
Mhm.
art that is
Right.
missing from media today, and it's
Well,
because the wrong people got a hold of the industry.
I don't I think that's true to an extent. Again, I don't think the issue is ownership. If ownership is doing what it does, which is okay, this is our audience. We don't want to stray from this narrative. This is why I go back to journalists who don't act like journalists anymore. They're pundits. They editorialize and everything, and they don't provide context if it doesn't fit their narrative. And it doesn't matter what the narrative is.
Right.
If it doesn't fit what our audience, whether you're Fox News or whether you're MSNBC or CNN, if it doesn't fit our narrative, we're going to eliminate you or you're gone.
Yeah.
If you don't do what we want you to do, if you don't say what we want you to say, or if you stray too far outside
And
that, you're eliminated.
to my
You're
point,
eliminated.
that's an ownership problem.
Yeah, I do think that is, yes, you're right in that aspect of it too. And
Idiots.
journalists, in fairness, as much as I bash on journalism, which I believe to be effectively dead as far as the way we used to know it or used to view it, it really does. I mean, in fairness to them, they're just trying to keep their
I
jobs.
get it.
So they're gonna do what they tell it. They're gonna do what management tells them to do.
Dude,
They're
I'm
gonna
not
say what management tells them to say.
at
So
any
in
point.
large part,
Have you heard
unless
me
you go
fault a journalist?
independent, no, I not at all. I'm just saying, but I have. That's why I want to provide some context to that. It's like, I, they suck, but there's a reason why they suck. They suck because management kind of makes them suck in a way. And some days they're willing to do, and to some degree they're willing to do it because they're usually in lockstep alignment with what management wants to an extent when it comes to the view, because they view things the way the audience views things,
Right.
because it skews a certain way. Journalism in general skews a certain way.
So
So
again,
it just
back to the ownership and management,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that is in greed,
hmm
in the greed based economy.
hmm
That's where we are today,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's been a good discussion.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
I don't think we could go on forever, but it's one of those things. It's too much to discuss in our little 18 to 20 minute
Right.
podcast. So we'd have to do a lot more long form. But anyway, ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get into it.
Let's do it. President Joe Biden made it official on Tuesday. The 80-year-old has announced he will seek a second term as president. This despite the latest NBC poll that indicated 70% of Americans do not want him to run again. Again, I totally get it. He sees Trump there. He's like, beat him before, I can beat him again. If Trump ends up being the nominee, which they don't want to go, you don't want to go against DeSantis, because a 44-year-old Ron DeSantis and an 80-year-old Joe Biden, you do not want that juxtaposed on anybody's TV screen during a debate. It would still be close, but he would lose. He's beaten Trump. If it's, and again, I can. My Republican friends would be, oh, come on, no. Okay, Trump didn't gain any more votes, as many as he had last time around, over these past 4 years. Biden didn't either, but Biden didn't need to.
Right.
So, and again, I don't want to talk too much politics, because I said, if it's these two jokers again, I will not vote.
Right.
Period. I won't.
Right.
So we shall see how that shakes out. Anyway, moving on. Netflix is investing in South Korea. By the way, they're the good Korea, in case you got confused.
Hate to see those North Koreans watch
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Can't go give them that.
The streaming giant announced it will produce more Korean dramas, movies, and reality shows. The investment is $2.5 billion over the next 4 years. You know, again, I'm not going to have time. I'm not going to get through a third of what Netflix or
you probably
Amazon
haven't watched
Prime
Kunk on
has to
Earth
offer.
yet.
I know I still haven't.
Dude,
I just, you know,
you're
I
a total
just
loser.
started watching. What was it? Succession. Was that on Amazon Prime or Netflix? I can't remember. I think that might be Amazon Prime. But I got halfway through the first episode. I'm not ready for it. It looks really good, but a dude just vomited out of the eyeballs of a amusement park costume that he was wearing, and I wasn't ready for it yesterday. So we'll revisit that.
Yeah, how can you not miss that?
But no, I've heard great things about it. Looks like it's right up my alley. But yeah, I got to be in a particular mindset to watch that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else is going on? Bed Bath & Beyond has filed for bankruptcy and will eventually close all of its stores, including its Michigan locations. The retailer filed for Chapter 11 last weekend. I believe that's the worst chapter when it comes to bankruptcy. Their assets and liabilities are in the $1 to $10 billion range. In the meantime, you get like 20% off, towels, assorted lotions and stuff.
This is what happens when you're married. Okay, this is what you begin to get good at. Yesterday, when I read this news, so thanks for being a day late on this one.
What that topical? Who cares? Bed Bath & Beyond.
Nobody cares. But
it was a throwaway story at the end.
Follow along. You know, I'm bringing it around. I'm making your throwaway follow-up story at the end relevant. This is what I do.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Ride those coattails. Perfect. So yesterday, I read the headline, and I'm like, hey, do you have any of those Bed Bath & Beyond coupons left? You've only got till Wednesday to use them. Oh, I've got thousands of them still. Okay, well, she goes, yeah, but the Bed Bath & Beyond here closed months ago.
Oh, shit.
That's what I said.
What are you going to do?
That's how observant I am.
I think that the Holland location might still be open, although they may have closed as I'm talking.
I didn't mind that store. I thought it was kind of cool.
I just don't care. You can get it's just Amazon. Amazon is going to eventually make everything close.
Of all of the places in the mall that I will either sit in a chair out and watch people walk by and make up nasty narratives about their lives, because I do that. I do. I will totally sit there and watch somebody walk by and make up a story as they walk past. We should just do that for fun. Just go sit in the mall someday with a camera and talk about strangers. But I will walk into Bed Bath & Beyond because I might find something in there that's kind of cool.
Wait a second. I believe they sell like lotions and
I don't go in that area. I look in the kitchen area. I look at bedding because you know,
you don't go to the you don't go to the bath or the beyond. You're just in the bed.
Well, I like the kitchen stuff. I always like the kitchen stuff.
Okay, so that would be the beyond.
Some of the large wall art I always thought was cool. I bought a great big giant clock at because you remember the old condo, we had those steps that had that big so I bought the big clock for that. And I don't know, I didn't mind that store. It's kind of sad to see it close.
Okay.
All right.
I don't care. Sports, Tigers double up Milwaukee 4-2. I'm sorry, I don't. I can't.
You don't have to. Did I ask you to?
Bath & Beyond. No, it's fine.
I'm gonna go to the gym today, and I'm gonna walk around naked with all the dudes. I don't care about Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't do that. I don't do that. There's no shower facilities at the fitness center I go to. Anyway,
I'm sure you find a way to walk around naked anyway.
Cubs were off. Aaron Rodgers' trade to the New York Jets became official yesterday. So the Detroit Lions officially favorites to win the North. Going to be a big season coming up.
Oh, yeah.
For Detroit. That's sports.
Did I tell you how amazing the University of Michigan is? We got to throw that in there for sports. I mean, that should just be thrown into every sports cast from now on.
They haven't won a collegiate football championship since black guys were allowed to play.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Throw something in there about the U of M.
Their basketball team just took a big fat dump all over their season and lost in the NIT.
As the program director and guy who signs the checks of the Muskegon channel.
Also ran.
As the guy who is the program director and signs the checks at the Muskegon channel, from here forth, We need an awesome Michigan story in every sportscast.
I will be a conscientious objector.
Okay, well, that wasn't a request. All right. Legal briefs for 600. Exemption of ambassadors and such from local law enforcement is this 2-word term.
Say that again. I knew this was going to get you to do that. That's one of the reasons I did it. So that, and I didn't quite hear it.
Of course not.
Because I was considering going on strike.
Of course you were.
For your Michigan comment.
Yeah.
So just repeat, please. Please.
If you missed my birthday and you made a Michigan comment.
I didn't even announce it. I appreciated the fact you didn't bring it up that I'm halfway to 100 too.
Well, but you also didn't hit like or follow or anything on my birthday picture on your wall.
No, I did a blanket. I did a blanket thank you to everybody who.
No, a blanket thank you. A blanket thank you is a waste of a post.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Not at all.
Blanket it's dismissive.
Thank you. And
a blanket thank you says I'm too important to thank you individually.
No, this is what happens. I thanked everybody who wished me and those who didn't, because I appreciate them equally as much, because I understand the apathy of people and I embrace that. So right. God bless.
Exemption of ambassadors and such from local law enforcement is this 2-word term.
Oh, I knew this. It's been in multiple movies that I've seen. I believe, the dude in Lethal Weapon was able to escape because of this. Diplomatic immunity.
Oh, he got it. Oh my goodness.
I just had to think back to Lethal Weapon circa 1984. Remember, he has diplomatic immunity, so you can't bust me.
That's right.
Sorry,
guess what?
Danny Glover and Mel Gibson.
Right over there comes the weather kid, and we are out of here for a Tuesday. We'll see you then.
See ya.
Happy Tuesday, Muskegon. A gradual warm-up is expected this week, so let's look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Your weather headlines show that we will be warming up into Friday. By the time we get to Friday, temperatures will be back into the 60s. However, that unfortunately won't last long, as we will have cooler temperatures lasting into the month of May, at least initially, a few days going into May. But then in the meantime, we will expect mostly dry weather until this weekend, besides a few rain chances earlier this morning. So looking at your temperatures for today, will be right around 50 degrees here in Muskegon County, which is about 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. And that pattern will continue for much of the rest of April, besides pretty much on Friday. And along with the cooler temperatures today, we will have a very small chance of rain, especially in the morning hours before noon. You can see most of the rain will stay south of Muskegon, and some of this could mix in with some snow. So we are expecting a small chance of rain/snow to start your morning. And you can see that on our day planner as well, with today having a high of 49 with mostly cloudy skies. And like I said, that chance of drizzle or maybe some snow showers will be possible in the morning hours. And then overnight will clear out with a low of 30, which will set the stage for frost going into Wednesday morning. And it looks like it'll stay on the cooler side, at least below normal temperatures for the rest of April, going into the first few days of May at least, which means temperatures will be in the 40s and 50s rather than the 60s and 70s like they should be this time of year. And that's reflected on the 7-day forecast as well. You can see by the time we get to around the 1st of May, temperatures will still be in the 50s and 40s, unfortunately. But enjoy Friday, because that will be the nicest day out of the next several, with temperatures in the mid-60s with partly cloudy skies. But in the meantime, we'll have to deal with a few frost chances as well, especially for Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. And that's your Tuesday forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon channel. I'm Colwood's Weather, and enjoy your day today.